Yeah.
And and I love it. It really annoys the left when you say the problem is you're not Christian enough. Because this is Todd McGowan's radical argument in his Hegel book, is that actually even Marx gets it a little bit wrong, right? I'm very, very, I'm very Marxist, whatever. But even Marx, and it's only a very tiny thing, right? But in the brief moments that he talks about communism, he kind of expresses communism as if it's the end of antagonism, right? Now, and I think Zizek is right when Zizek says that communism is the dream of capitalism. I think this is very insightful. In other words, if you go to America and you talk to religious capitalists, right, and you ask them what does heaven look like, well, they describe communism, right? So heaven is the place where we're all equal and there's exuberance and we can all, do what we want and, fish during the day and party at night or whatever, right? Like there is this sense in which capitalism dreams that, hey, in heaven or in the utopia, everything would be undivided and be great. And even Marx, a great young Hegelian, kind of postulates the end of history as the end of contradiction. If the left had stuck with Hegel's Christology, you wouldn't be able to do that. You would say communism is not the end of contradiction. Communism is where contradiction is embraced, where, because basically the whole of the phenomenology of spirit is where contradiction is overcome only by going into a deeper, more intractable contradiction until you get down to the contradiction that is reality itself. And then the moment of the end of history is the moment in which we can imagine a society where we embrace the contradiction rather than continually break it into opposition. So this is where Christology has something to say to today.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. Yeah, no, it's bloody interesting. I did not expect to be agreeing so much.
Dear.
Let's finish. You said you had a sort of point to make for a kind of closing point. Let's finish with that and.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I just thought I'd tell a parable that I think gets to the heart of this, and it's a story about this guy, this Irish guy called Seamus, he's a very pious man, but he loses his job. And he's really worried about how to pay his rent. And he prays to God and he hears the voice of God. And God says to him, Seamus, sell everything you have and go to Vegas. So Seamus, being the pious man that he is, he sells everything he has. He goes to Vegas. And then he hears the voice of God saying, Seamus, go into the first casino and play one hand of Texas Hold'em. So he goes into the casino. He gets dealt just 3 cards. 2 cards. And he looks at them, he's got 7-2 off. He's like, oh shit, I better fold. And he hears God say, Seamus, go all in. It's like 7-2 off, go all in. So Seamus puts all his money in. 2 other people go in after him. One's got a pair of queens, the other's got a pair of kings. Anyway, the flop comes 7 and a 2, then the turn another 2, and then the river another 7. Bam, he wins. Gets all the money. He's got, I don't believe it. Then he hears a voice of God saying, Seamus, go to blackjack, put everything that you've won on one hand. Seamus goes and does it. He gets dealt 16. He's about to stick. He hears God say, hit. So he hits. He gets an ace. So he's 17. And he's about to stick. He hears God say, hit again. He gets a 3, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then God says, hit again. He's like, shit, hit again. He's like, hit again. Gets another ace, 21 wins. So I don't believe it. And then he hears the voice of God one last time. He says, go roulette, put everything on 7. So he goes, puts everything on 7. He's sweating. There's a whole crowd around him at the stage, like loads of people watching him. And the ball rolls and rolls and rolls. It bounces, lands on 7. Everyone cheers. Seamus is crying, looks up to heaven. He says, I don't believe it. And then he hears the voice of God saying, I don't believe it either. You're the luckiest motherfucker I've ever seen. Now, that parable is the heart of radical theology, that we think that we don't know, but that there's something out there that knows, that ultimate reality knows. The whole point of parotheology, which is what I do, is that you get the shock of realizing not only do you not know, but there is a contingency, novelty, and radicality built into the very nature of reality itself.